We are here with a very special guest. We have Pierre from Arturia, and he is the product manager, and he has a very special product to go over with us. So dive in, man. What do you got here in front of us for us?
Yeah, so this is Astro Lab. So it's our first stage keyboard. So our Arturia, we make a lot of virtual instruments, a lot of effects, a lot of MIDI controllers as well. We've been quite famous for that. And for a while, people have been asking us, yes, I love your stuff, but I want to be able to play live with it. And so we've been working on this for a while now, and it's finally out. We just released it. So it's super exciting to be able to finally take all those sounds from all these vintage instruments, all those classic analog synthesizers, but also some more modern and very futuristic and super creative sounds, and be able to play everything live with those simple instruments.
Which is huge. And so you were telling us before we started about like just how large of a role you had with developing this. We want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a product manager at Arturia, so I'm involved with the product since it started. Basically, the whole idea of having a stage keyboard is something that I have been working on for quite a while. I've been working on it for almost 5 years now.
It's a long time.
Yeah, well, congrats, because it's here now. And
right.
What's your musical background? Like, how'd you get into music and then working with Arturia?
Yeah, so I'm an amateur piano player, keyboard player.
Oh, I'd say you're more than an amateur. Yeah, we heard you play before this.
Yeah, we heard.
But I've been using our products and other pianos for a long time now. So that's also why this product is so important for me, because it's kind of the dream I've had since I joined the company 10 years ago. I always wanted to be able to have a digital keyboard with all the sounds that we've been releasing for the past years.
For sure. Oh, and speaking of that, how many sounds do you guys have in this now?
So it's got more than 1,000 sounds, so 1,300. But what's more important is the diversity of sounds, because we have more than 30 instruments. So you're going to have all the pianos, electric pianos, the organs that you would expect on a stage keyboard. But we also have all those analog synthesizers like the Minimoog, the Prophet, the CS80. So we emulated all these instruments, and they are all in it. And as I said, we have also more modern synthesizers. So we have Pigments, which is one of our best-selling software synthesizer. Very powerful with a mix of wavetable synthesis, gradular synthesis, a lot of creative opportunities.
My buddy geeks out over Pigments all the time. So that speaks to the product there. Do you want to play some sounds from it, just out of sheer curiosity for those checking in?
Let's go. So of course, I always start with the pianos, because it's a stage keyboard. Everybody needs to have some pianos. That's a kind of cinematic piano. So maybe I can play something cinematic. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so, as I said, something that's super special about us is that we've been working on these instruments for years, and it's not based on samples, but it's a physical modeling that's filling all these pianos. So this means that I have a few controls, so 4 macros, and I'm controlling the actual parameters of the instruments and not just adding some filtering on the sample. So here I can...
Sweet.
So I can change the tone of the instruments really a lot, and I can detune.
Oh yeah.
That's something that's only physical modeling can bring to a piano. You couldn't do that with samples. And with all the instruments that are in here, it's the same, exactly the same. So it's fully using physical modeling to do all the sounds. So the rose is like that. And I can change the tone. Quite drastically and very quickly get a sound that's...
there we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, you guys hear that stereo panning too? Yeah. That's nice. That's nice. So I'm sure that the physical modeling removes all those artifacts if you were going to be doing all that manipulation of the like timbres.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kinds
So
of stuff.
it's very dynamic. So like you don't get any steps, and even when you're playing, it's really expressive because you don't have any steps in the velocities that you're playing. So it just feels very natural. You feel like you're playing an instrument. You don't hear any weird stuff weird stuff with it. Yeah.
Well, that's huge because we're talking about a stage piano, so like you gotta have all that touch sensitivity. So I love it. Yeah, it sounds great, man.
And is this like mainly for stage player? Like how does it work stage to studio? Like who's it for?
So that's the whole deal with it is that so we have perfect integration with the studio because we have the equivalent of AstroLab, which is Analog Lab that's running on the computer. So Analog Lab is one of our most popular software instruments. It's comes with all the sounds that you have on AstroLab, all the sounds from our instruments, or V collection, pigments, all the sounds are embedded in the software in a very simple format, and then you can edit all those sounds in depth in the computer. So when you are producing in your studio, you just connect AstroLab to your computer via USB, and you can use it as if you were having a MIDI controller and have it very flexible, create your own sounds, produce with as many Analog Lab instances as you want in your DAW.
Cool.
But when you want to go live, you just take your AstroLab and you're gonna play the sounds without the computer.
I love that. I love not having to lug a computer around for stuff like that because it's just like I want as few things that could go wrong when I'm playing live. So like removing an element like the computer is so great.
Oh, huge.
Speaking of that too, how many presets does this have?
So 1,300 from
So many.
pianos, electric pianos, basses. So you've got all these sounds that are accessible right from here, and it's very quick to go from one type to another. But it's also very simple to navigate even more because you have the navigation wheel here. And so if I go here, I can browse either by types of sounds, by instruments, or by artists. And so you just click on instruments, then you browse all the way to Jupiter. You click, and you have a Jupiter that's loaded. And it's super easy to really quickly get to any of the sounds of the instruments.
Yeah, I love that.
And
I love the look of that too.
Does that have like haptic feedback on there? Like
You hear and you feel a bit of a bit of a click, and it's super nice to play with it.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the cherry on top right there.
I gotta
you know?
touch it.
Yeah, exactly. Get in there. Get up in there. Oh, I can hear it though. I can hear it clicking.
Yeah.
It feels nice.
Yeah. Seal of approval from Luis over here. So you got any favorite sounds on this?
Maybe I can show you one of the artist tributes.
Well, this is like your baby though, so it's like asking who your favorite child is. Right? It's your favorite tone, you know?
Yeah, but that's definitely a sound that I wanted to be able to play live for a while. So we have all those artist tribute sounds that recreates some of the most iconic sounds of the most famous keyboard players. So we have one of them is the Radiohead, and you will recognize it. So
good.
We have this kind of sounds, but another sound that's shows very well the capabilities of the instruments is one of those pigment sounds. So way more creative, not at all on the vintage side of things, but very powerful. And
cool.
All those sounds can be fully customized on Analog Lab, so you can create as many sounds like that as you want and just have that loaded on AstroLab. So it's
That's
quite
cool.
crazy, the diversity of sounds from very classic vintage sounds to futuristic sounds.
And
Love it.
There's presets, and then I'm assuming you can, like, when you create your sounds, you could also load custom sounds. Like, how many can you load?
So there's no clear limit because most of our instruments are synths.
Yeah.
They're not using samples. So the presets don't weigh that much, and we have 32 gigabytes in total of memory. So a lot of it is like 8 gigabytes is already used by the system and the factory content, but you've got 20 gigabytes of extra space. So for now, you can do whatever.
Cool.
It's gonna be fine. Something that's important to note is that we also have more and more sample-based instruments in V Collection. So we have instruments like this. So cinematic strings, and we have more of those coming as well. and those are going to be using samples, so those are going to weigh a bit more. So if you add more and more sample-based instruments, at some point maybe you're going to reach the limit, but we are still far from it.
Love it. Love it. Well, it's the Astro Lab. It's an infinite universe of tone right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's hear some more sound. I'm so curious about this. There's so much to hear.
I can take one of the features. So it's the playlist where you can organize your sounds into songs, and you're gonna have 10 presets that are accessible straight from the interface, and you can just go from one preset to another by clicking one of those buttons. So
perfect for live.
Quick. Yeah, to play live, you don't have to look at the screen. You don't have to think about anything. You just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 10, and that's all your set list that's gone. So it's very quick to go from one preset to another.
Oh, and there's crossover like that too, where if you're sustaining, you can switch it. I like that. That's
nice.
really nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we're basically waiting before you play a new note to cut the sound of the previous.
That's so smart, because the last thing you want to do is you're holding a big chord, you hit the patch button, just like and it just like crosses over. God,
that's cool.
Glad you guys are thinking about that stuff.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, duh, I designed it. You know,
can you use split sounds too?
Oh yeah. So, for example, the typical thing that you're gonna do to split sound. So, AstroLab is multi-timbral. You have 2 instruments at the same time they can play. So, I can put a bass on my left hand, for example, a sound like that, and I want to add some electric piano on top of it. So, I hit part 2. I go on the encoder, and here I can take an E piano, for example. But right now, they are both playing at the same time. So I hit the split button, and now they split, and I can choose my split point like that. And
cool. Oh, here we go. So this might be a good time to bring this up. This has dedicated delay and reverb, right?
Yeah. So I can add some.
Let's get some
delay,
reverb on that. See some butter.
Some delay. And something that's super nice is that I can select part 2 and add some movement on my part 2, some tremolo on my part 2.
See, yep.
So very quick and easy to combine sounds and just tweak them to your liking, or for a track that you need to work on.
See, you're totally not an amateur.
Not at all. I love that. It seems super intuitive, and then like, virtual instruments, you get the screen. There's a ton of stuff, but with this, it's just like.
It's instant. Focusing on inspiration, focusing on producing, composing, not trying to do some sound design on the instrument itself. But if you need to do some sound design, you have Analog Lab where you can do everything, basically. And
yeah, that's good to bring up. Yeah, because if anybody out there was wondering, oh, is this just going to be a live format? No, the Analog Lab software is insane. We did a demo on this last year on one of your guys' MIDI controllers. I think it was the Keylab 61, and the sheer amount of craziness you could do with perfectly customizing that with the software is awesome. So don't sleep on that either. If you're a tweaker out there and you want to tweak 1 million parameters, you can still do that. So this is so cool. Anything else you want to bring up with this? I know we're running a little short on time, but anything else? I
think it's mostly it. Maybe there's a sound that you want to listen to, or maybe I can show you a sequence maybe we haven't heard about a sequence. So this one is really nice. So also shows you that you have a built-in arpeggiator, that all of the instruments can have built-in sequences as well. So you can be very creative with that and have like fully dynamic performances just with one keyboard.
Awesome. Yo, Luis, you got anything else you want to bring up to Pierre here?
No, I was curious. Some more bass sounds actually. If you could just give me a little more bass.
Some more bass, yeah.
The Herbie. Oh yeah. That's definitely. Oh, there you go. That resonance definitely did it right there.
Yeah. And you can clearly hear that, like the deepness of the analog filter.
Was that an Odyssey? Was that an ARP Odyssey?
Okay, but that's not the actual sound of Herbie. But I think it was an ARP Odyssey in the original, but we don't have it in the collection. So.
Sounds so exactly like it. Anybody who would hear that and go, "That's not it," is just out of their minds.
I thought it was it.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. Yeah, I love it.
Great.
Well, did you guys see that too? It was like 5 seconds, and you're like immediately just tweaking it in real time. So this thing's pretty powerful. So. Yeah, I mean, anything else you want to show before we wrap up here, man? We really appreciate you coming here to do this, though. But
Yeah.
any other last tidbits?
Maybe I can just finish by the organ. We haven't heard the organ, so.
Awesome.
I love how fast you get to everything.
That's what I'm
It's just
saying.
it just sounds great.
That's what I'm saying. It's so great to watch you work with this thing. Man, Pierre, this is so great for you to come in and
awesome
show
to come.
this. Yeah, guys, please do check out the Astro Lab. This is the brand new stage keyboard from Arturia. It is a big deal that they have one of these. And yeah, man, just thanks for coming all the way from France here to hang with us here, my man. Yeah, for
great.
sure. Man, Pierre, this is so great for you to come in and
awesome
show
to come.
this. Yeah, guys, please do check out the Astro Lab. This is the brand new stage keyboard from Arturia. It is a big deal that they have one of these. And yeah, man, just thanks for coming all the way from France here to hang with us here, my man. Yeah,
It's been
for
great.
sure.